Hey y'all, it's me again. So, after making the first walkthrough of kicks, I just kind of realized maybe y'all just have Ableton, and maybe I should just make one with just all stock plugins, um, so that anyone with Ableton can make a kick drum. So, let's get started. Just gonna create a little MIDI clip. I want my kick in F. Alright, let's see. So really, remembering, if you watched the last video, you've got a pitch envelope on this sine wave right here. You can select the waveform and the operator right under wave, and it's called sine, and basically most drum sounds are just from pitching this up to down really fast. So we're going to do that. I'm going to put the percentage of the pitch envelope all the way up. Ooh. Get a little sub action here. Ooh, you can hear that happening. It used to happen a little quicker. Right? Envelope, as I was saying, it's just a balance in the beginning between the pitch envelope and the actual amplitude envelope. So I kind of like that, but yeah, so you can click this little dot right to the left of the attack to mess with the curve here, right here. I feel like maybe just the decay needs to maybe just the start point will, right? Alright, there we go. Okay. Let's mess with the actually it's fine. And it can have a little tail, because we're just gonna fade that out anyways, so got that. Let's go ahead and layer this up. So actually, since this is the fundamental, which means it's the root note of the drum, I might want to have like some separate control over the fade of it. So I'm just going to balance this out as is. Let's take a look. There's our kick so far. And remember the trick from last one where you just consolidate it, and down here it already normalizes it, so you just click 0, it's normalized. And then go into fades. I have Ableton 9, so I do apologize because you guys are probably using 10. That sounds good to me, right? Let's consolidate it again, just to have it. Cool. Alright, now we're going to group these up. And if you remembered what we were doing in kick 2, you had like one high-end click layer, and one high-end just character layer. So what we can do for a high-end thing, we can either grab a hat, closed hat, something like this. I don't know. These are all loops. Yeah, that's a good one. Fade it. So it's just a click. And you have control over this. Fade it. And let's EQ that too. There's just a little too much high end poking through. That's so before, after, right? Let's fade it a little more. Another tool that's really useful for kind of pitching things around instead of going into the transpose, let's set this back to 0, is frequency shifter. So there you go. So before, after. Let's make it a little more. Good. Okay. And then what I was talking about before is a high-end layer. And the thing that you can do for this, you can either, I've got this little white noise drum layer. I just bounced out white noise, so that I can just fade it. Got this. Boom, let's try it. Boom. Already, like, really decent drum. Let's see, EQ 8, just to, 8, just to make sure that it's got the right tone. We can also do the frequency shifter trick here. And I'm going to fade it again. And I've got the tone. So, right there, we got it, right? 6. I'm just resampling. Sorry I have to do that. I just have this, it's a lock bar that's really annoying. I just have to work around it right now. I don't have to, I could fix it, but I do be lazy though. So, this is our unprocessed raw kick so far. Let's make sure we're zoomed in to the very beginning. You don't want it to start here because you can hear it gets clicky. That's where we want it. Boom. Alright, so we got that. I think I should do this. From last video. Ooh, what do we call this one? U-boob kick. Yeah, Nice. Kick 1. So this is our first kick. Where did I put it in? Alright, I'm just going to put it there for now. What I do, I'll show you again. I make a kick processes folder under kicks. You can see the one that we made the other day. Start, boom, you know. Start unprocessed. Just making variations. I did that with like all these, except for that one. But you can see, you know, same kind of process there. So let's do something of this. I feel like there could be more of a transient. So I'm going to drop it into a sampler. And I think I did this last video too, but turn on the pitch envelope. Oh, turn off this filter, because that'll filter out high end. We don't really want anything affecting it. Boom. And that's just pitch envelope doing that, so without. Try it now. See how it gets more clicky? Boom. You know, up there. So like right around there is money. I'm gonna bounce that out. Oop. Horrible at clicking. There you go. Side by side. You can see that now this is sped up, yeah, compared to the other one at the beginning, giving it more clicky or just high frequencies at the start. Alright, let's crop this down and start throwing some effects on it. Oh, you can see there. You always check, because you never know. You know, it could be cropped weird. So I'm gonna go U boob kick 2. Yeah, we'll just throw it in there. And then I'll go back after and throw it into an organized folder. Alright. Nice, so we got that. So one thing I think this is missing is that high-end release. That like tail, the high-end tail, you know. I want to bring that out a little bit. And the best way to bring low-level frequencies up is by expansion. Let's bring it up. So this is pretty much just upward compression. I'm going to bring this high-end band up and then start turning this. I think it's the ratio up. And 4. It brings out that high-end tail. And you can adjust the time to the length that you want it to be, and then adjust the amount. Very subtle, but it helps. Alright, let's do some EQing. Alright. That's cool. I kind of like to do with kicks and snares in general, just drums. I like to run an EQ into a distortion or glue compressor. Almost always it's the glue compressor, and it's because of this option right here. It's a soft clipping mode, which means that if it goes above 0, which is clipping, it will bring it back down by distorting the waveform, and that adds more high end, more mid. It just adds harmonics. So I'll give you an example, right? So you can see here in our mixer right down here. I'm sorry that it's so junky with this, but it's not clipping, right? Even out here, it's not clipping, and it's even beefier, right? So I'm gonna do that kick beef preset. See if that works. If it doesn't, then I like that. So now that I've got a good compressor settings, I'll go back into the EQ and figure this out. So I'm looking for the frequency that's like, oh, you know? So boom, right there. I just drag up the band. If you have Waves plugins, instead of using this to boost the high end, one thing you could do is, here's one plugin I really love. It's the API 560. And what was that frequency? It was like 8K. So I'll bring this in. And to see how high you can boost it without it sounding like crap. So those harsher, like if I were to boost this 12 dB, it just sounds way different. Alright, let's go back here. But again, you don't need it. So I'm going to take it off, because this whole tutorial is about oh, you know what I forgot to do? This was a really cool trick from last video. Let's see if it works where we're at now. Usually I would do this in this stage, but I would have probably done it before the EQ and compression, just to bring out some tone. These are more tone, you know, like overdrive and multiband expansion. Those are more for tone anyways. So, before. Oop. So, alright, there we go. Enough futzing with that. I'm thinking it's just fuller without it right now. I'm going to use that later on. So always be turning off, turning on, adjusting, seeing if you can get the one thing that you're trying to work, right? Instead of just getting it kind of to the place, being like, oh, I can fix that later. So I like that. I'm going to freeze it, flatten it, and boom. Dude, look at that beauty of a kick. Boom. Alright. Consolidate it. You see here in the volume, it wasn't already at max level. So when I consolidate it, it normalized the clip so that when I press 0, it's actually normalized. And I love it. U-boob kick. I actually think I'm gonna go ahead and make a folder for this because I want you guys to hear them all in succession. U-boob kick. Okay. Oh, that's the YouTube. Okay, let me bring this down. U-boob. So that's where we started. Just slowly getting beefier, right? This is pretty good. I like that. I think I could use more high end. So one thing that I like to do, that we went over last video, is the vocoder trick. So you open vocoder, click enhance if you don't already have it on. That's what I usually do. And it just brings out more high end. And kind of take out the lows and the low mids all the way to 0. And then mess with these two upper bands. I usually have to put the highest one a little lower. But that's what you get. And it follows the amplitude of the kick. So it's the same shape as the kick, which is great. You can hear there, get a flutter, because it's reacting really quickly to each part of the kick. It's fluttering a little bit. Let's see what we like, right? So let's just add it in. Whoa. Without. With. I didn't mention this last video, but another thing you can do is mess with the formant. And that kind of shapes the noise a little more. Higher up makes it sound higher, and lower makes it sound deeper. But I like that. Boom. Huge. We've got noise on there. I feel like it might give an interesting result to just kind of run that into an overdrive. And the reason why is when this comes on and you're using this is just filtering out your whatever's being distorted, right? So it's just like a parallel it's a parallel distortion, right? And you're just grabbing which frequencies you want from the distorted version. So the reason it works when it's fuller is because you have more information, more frequencies to filter out. So you have more shaping ability. Sorry, I'm having to plug in my computer so it doesn't die on me. So I like that. Maybe even like super subtle. Okay, you can do stuff like that. You'll be able to hear the differences when you do it too. So definitely give this a practice. Boom. Huge. Let us consolidate it. See, when I just freeze and flatten, it captures the volume within the clip, right? So like, it's already saying that the clip is at 0 dB, but if you consolidate it, it says it's at -2. So then you can just click 0. Okay. That's probably a better kick than yesterday. What other tricks did I use? Oh, I used disperser, but you don't have to do that. Oh, I should show you this. Once you got it here, I would have a play around with just like the frequency shifter. See if you like it somewhere else. It starts to break around like that or 60. We can tune it up. I'm not going to do that today. I just wanted to show you that. What else? Cabinet can always be interesting. Cabinet just kind of creates a little speaker space. You can just mix that in for character. See how it just makes it more analog sounding? I'm not going to do that today because I like this, and I'm going to go back and process this further. Don't overthink it. That's also another thing. When you like something, then save it. So, you boob, kick, 3, or is it 4? I think it's 4. Yeah. Okay, so this was our starting point, which was just pitch and amplitude of a sine wave. You know, playing your fundamental. So if you want this kick to be in F, you play an F, and then activate the pitch envelope. And then a top end click, which can be a hat, it can be anything with like high end information. Get creative with your click. It can be anything. Just make sure you're filtering it out. And then a high end tail, which I just use white noise, but you could also use other kicks and just filter out the low and the low mids. Make sure you filter out the low and low mids. I'll show you what happens. Right, so grab that kick. See, I like that kick together, but it's kind of taken away from the body. Hear how much more body that is? That's because it's phasing out a little bit of those frequencies. So I'm going to grab the EQ and high pass it. It's a little muddy. Done. That's all we're using, you know. Boom. Let's just resample it. Oh, there we go. Beautiful kick. Go in here. Make sure it's starting at the beginning. And consolidate it. It's already at 0 dB. Take the high pass filter off because I duplicated that. Now you got that kick. And that's a beautiful kick, right? I like that kick a lot, actually. So, first one, second. Alright, so there you go. I hope you picked up a lot of useful information. I just figured I'd make this follow-up kick walkthrough because when I made the other one, I just, you know, using kick 2 and disperser, that's already like close to $100. And I don't know if you guys have all that, and you don't need it. You really do not. Like, Ableton is good, you know. So, the other tips, definitely try some ear training, because once you can hear frequencies poking out, or just kind of overbearing, then you can just make the whole thing sound a lot cleaner. And that's a lot of what you're doing in drum synthesis. So, boom, there you go, you got it. And so, let me make me bigger. Ooh, whoa. Hi. So, if you have any questions, any comments, anything, just leave them below, and check out my music, check out my Twitter, follow me on Twitter, and just, if you have any questions, I'll get back to you when I can, and yeah, happy kick making.